Welcome everybody, Gaming Grandpa here with a tutorial series in Football Manager 23 covering the MLS. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of wrong information dealing with the MLS this year. I know I've read tons of posts, I've watched videos where people are saying it's broken, their save can't be fixed, they got tired of it, had to scrap it, and they're not going to play it again. I'm here to not dispute that, not to prove people wrong, but I'm here to give you all the information that you will need to be able to have a successful save in the MLS and to get the enjoyment out of it that I do. Now, I'm going to have, my last episode is going to be a bunch of tips and tricks on ways you can make sure that your roster is compliant. That way it's not broken. I'm going to show you how the trade system can work. That way you don't think it's broken. I'm just going to cover everything that I possibly can. Before we get into the really fun stuff, I need to explain a lot of different things. So we're going to jump right into part one, which is called league structure. Now, the MLS is known in America as Major League Soccer. I don't know why, but we love to put the words major and national in front of our sporting events. We got the National Hockey League, National Football League, Major League Baseball, and Major League Soccer. Now, the league owns all the contracts. When a player signs for a team, they're technically signing a contract with the league, and that's called the MLS player rights, and I'll get into that in a couple more episodes. The max roster size that you can register is 30. That doesn't mean you can't have more than 30 players, because you can, but they have to not be in the senior team, and it's complicated, but I will show you ways around that in the next episode. Now, the minimum roster size you have to have is 18. I recommend 20, and I'll cover that later. On match day, you're allowed, of course, 11 starters, 9 subs on your bench, which is more than any league I ever played. Now, you're allowed 5 in-game subs, and this year we're having 2 concussion subs. What that means is we've had a lot of trouble at MLS with head injuries and concussions. So this year, if a player is suspected of having a concussion, he gets hit or whatnot, he's on the ground, when the medical staff come out, if they designate him to be having symptoms, they're going to take him off. There's nothing the manager can do about it besides use one of your concussion subs. So in essence, if you had 2 concussions, you could have 7 subs in the game. Now, there's 29 teams, there's 2 conferences, the Eastern and the Western. The Eastern currently has 15 with the expansion team St. Louis in it, and the Western has 14. You play 34 games. It doesn't matter what conference you're in. You're going to play each team in your conference twice, and then the remaining games, are spread out with the other conference, where an equal number is home and equal number is away, and it's not necessarily against the same team. It's a random algorithm that the MLS uses to kind of keep it fair, so you could play different teams in the other conference every year. Now, most games are played on Saturday. Sometimes you're going to have 2 games per week, but the majority of them are played on Saturday. You will have a Sunday and Monday game here and there, but once again, most of them are on Saturday. In 2023, the squad registration is due March 4th. That's when you have to be compliant with the squad registration rules by that date. As of now, the MLS, this is just a little bit of tidbit information for you. As of now, the MLS plans to have 30 expansion teams. Sacramento is currently leading the way, and I don't know when they're coming into the league. I don't know if they're going to get approved. It could be Las Vegas or Phoenix. There's a bunch of other teams, but right now Sacramento is leading the foray into being the 30th expansion team. Now, something that's unique to the MLS in America is the All Star Game. Well, evidently this year, Mexico, and I'll get into that in just a second. The All Star Game is July 19th. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. at D.C. United's home field, Audi Field. The participants are voted on. Our players for the league are voted on by the fans. It's not always the best player, but it's usually the most popular players, and after all, an All-Star Game, that's what you want, is your favorite popular players, right? The manager of the All-Star Game this year is going to be the winner of last year's MLS Cup. So keep that in mind. In a few years, if you win the MLS Cup, you're going to get to manage the All-Star Game, which is going to be kind of cool. Now, when the MLS was first founded, the Eastern Conference All-Stars played the Western Conference All-Stars for a few years. Then they had the United States men's national team playing. Then they decided to invite other teams from popular leagues. Real Madrid, Roma, Man United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Juventus. We've had Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, Arsenal. We've had a bunch of different teams come. Last year they started playing against Mexico with the Liga MX All-Stars, and this year it's going to be the same way. Now, another thing that's unique to the MLS is the Supporter Shield. while it's a trophy to go in the cabinet, it doesn't really have any real significance except for you get a CONCACAF berth if you win it. Now, to win the Supporters Shield, you have to have the most points in the league. It doesn't mean you're going to win the MLS Cup. It doesn't mean anything else other than you get a trophy because you had the most points in the league, and you get a CONCACAF berth. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and hopefully it's at 5 minutes and cut this video here. I will be back pretty soon with part 2 of continuation of league structure. In the meantime, if you like what I'm doing, leave me a thumbs up, please. Leave me comments. I'm very good about checking it regularly and replying. Even if it's negative, I want to hear your thoughts. And also subscribe if you want to continue getting notifications on the remaining videos in this series. So thanks again, guys, and have a good night.